And I said, Mom and Dad, thank y'all.
Right.
And I went out there and put on the show.
Yeah.
I lit up the field on Orange Bowl. The last game I ever played on Orange Bowl, I scored 3 touchdowns. It was a performance second to none that I ever done as a University of Miami Hurricane. But it was for them. It was my tribute to them.
Okay, so you go to the U and you're there, and really you're a part of the again, like there was the Ray Lewis U and all of them and Warren Sapp, and then they kind of fell off a little bit, but then there was the renaissance of, this new Butch Davis, swagalicious team here. This is the thing that always jumped out to me about you guys, okay? I always, just watching from afar, thought, oh man, they're just a bunch of renegades that just, when the lights turn on, they go play. But then I got to know a few of you, and I went, oh my gosh, the work ethic, the discipline. You know, I think sometimes people branded you guys as just like you just showed up and you could ball when you had to. But the guys I was around from the U were obsessed, which, I mean, it sounds like your dad, your mom, your coach instilled a lot of discipline into you, to your approach.
No doubt.
But, I mean, you guys are one of the most polarizing, awesome teams in the history of football. And, I mean, I guess I'm just interested about where you guys got your confidence from on a game-to-game basis, and what was it like just being on that team where, I mean, there was like 10 Pro Bowlers on the team, let alone just a bunch of awesome college football players.
It was an experience that I would never forget.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell folks to this day that being able to, everything in life happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. I believe that.
Yeah.
You know, and taking that scholarship with track was the best decision I ever made, because even my friends, I have a close friend that he went to Western Michigan. He ended up taking, it was me, him, and our running back, that same running back that University of Miami was recruiting.
Right.
All 3 of us took that trip to Western Michigan. All 3 of us committed.
Yeah.
I was the only one that wasn't sure.
Right.
But I committed.
Yeah.
When I came home, I said, oh, no, I'm not doing it.
Right.
But those guys who I was close to, they went. But that one friend of mine, he would come back every summer and work out with us at Miami. And he would go and dominate the MAC. And his coaches were wondering, why is he so good?
Right.
The work we put in at Miami, look, we was building something there. It's no wonder why they talk about those years. See, we was in a rebuilding phase.
You were.
The year that I came in was, 97. That was but my class was 2001.
Right.
The year before us, it was Adrian James, Nate Webster, Bubba Franks. Those guys were the 2000 class. They was playing as freshmen. And in my year, it was more freshmen out of my class that played than their class.
Right.
So you can already see what the team was made of. The nucleus was freshmen and sophomore.
Right.
So in '97, I gotta remind you, I was a track guy that wasn't going to play at all.
Yeah.
I was on the track scholarship.
Yeah.
And those first 4 games, they give you a leeway and say, hey, you can wear your uniform, just can't take your helmet out there because you're going to redshirt eventually. I was him.
Yeah.
I was the guy that would go out there dressed, and we get our butt kicked or whatever it was, because it was a bad year. We was 5-6 that year.
Right.
But they would tell me, you're not playing. And here I am, week 4, we're in Pittsburgh. I sneak my helmet out thinking I'm doing something that they don't know of. I was like, man, I'm tired of getting killed by the student body of every team we go to. They throwing ice at me, calling me names. I'm putting his helmet on this week.
Yeah.
We in Pittsburgh, it's cold, it's Thursday night football.
Right.
And Jamie German was a receiver at the time that couldn't play because he got penalized for something that he did in the offseason.
Sure.
And now he's a coach. And he say, Tanner, get in.
Good thing you had your helmet.
So I'm like, Jamie, I'm supposed to be playing. There's no way I'm getting in. No, get in.
Right.
The call came in, you're playing this week.
Yeah.
I'm shitting bricks. My heart is thumping. It's 3rd down.
Yeah.
I catch the ball for a 1st down. My first ever college play.
Right.
I run an out route. It was a corner route, but I turned it into out because the way they was playing the coverage, and I ran it flat instead of high.
Yeah.
Catch the ball for a 1st. Turn around, the guy smacked me dead in my face. 1st down.
Right.
That was my introduction to college football.
Yeah.
And from that game on, I played the rest of that season. They took me off of my track scholarship.
Right.
Changed it over to a football, and I played the rest of the season as a true freshman. But I say that to say this. Reggie Wayne was already a starter on that team.
Yeah.
And we was freshmen. We was in the same freshman class.
Right.
We had a couple other guys. We had Darryl Jones. He was a freshman as well as a receiver. He was already starting. And then they implemented me. We was 3 starting wide receivers, freshman receivers that led that team that year, that 5-6 record.
Right.
And it didn't do nothing but motivate everybody else who came in with us and the guys who was before us that if these guys can do what they did, and we was making plays.
Yeah.
That guy, Curtis Johnson, and I talked to him about Michael Thomas.
Right.
He was our receiver coach. He didn't put you on the field unless you was going to make a play.
Right.
And he was like that head coach I had in high school. If you drop a ball, you might not play again. And I was a guy, and I remember Curtis telling me this when I first got in. I would drop the easy catches and make the big play.
Yeah, right.
That's all I knew.
Right.
Because in high school, we did the big plays. There wasn't no hitches and slants.
Yeah, right,
It was going deep.
Going deep, right.
And that's what I knew. And the little ones, CJ would always say, Tanner, they can't call your name if you don't catch the ball.
Right.
And I'm like, I know I was trying to turn upfield. I know what you got going on.
Yeah.
You're trying to make something big all the time. But he made me, pay attention to just making sure
some of the smaller details.
And that's what Reggie was good at. Reggie was another guy that was, he was motivation to all of us because, Reggie, we called him, he was the guy that could catch a BB in the dark.
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne had the best hands I ever seen from any receiver.
Right.
And I played with a lot of them.
Yeah.
This guy would catch any and every ball thrown his way. And he basically, led that group that year. He was a Big East, freshman of the year and everything, but I was in his hip pocket. And I was always that guy that's, I was one of those guys that I didn't care about being the guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to be next to the guy.
Right.
So knowing he was the guy, I was going to try to make a play every time. And then I think that kind of trickled over into our whole entire team, just seeing us thrive.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be a part of that. And before you know it, we became to be that team.
Well, dude, that's where I want to get to. Like, what is it? I mean, you just explained some of it, but that's what I always admired about you guys. It always seemed like your team had a special bond. The team itself. Yeah. And then number two, I was always amazed that the bigger the game, I just felt like the bigger you guys were. Like it was just, and honestly, I feel like that about a lot of Florida kids in general. It's just when the lights turn on, and what is it about the bond and your guys' ability to kind of turn it on the big stage? You know what, one thing when you look at the Miami tradition and the history of the University of Miami, you didn't want to be that team that didn't carry on that same history. Yeah, like you didn't want to see Michael Irvin or Ray Lewis, and then they were like, what the hell are you doing? Every other day. It was almost ridiculous to see Michael Irvin, who I'm seeing scoring touchdowns in the NFL, in my locker room next to me, chopping it up, telling me how I have to play this game. Right. Lamar Thomas, Ray Lewis. It was ridiculous as a kid to sit back and like, these are stars right now. These guys have played at the highest level that is playing now to this day at the highest level. Right. And they sit next to me chopping it up. Yeah. Oh, I can be them. And not only that I can be them, I got to carry on what they did here. So it was almost like you would be letting them down and yourself down if you don't take on what they did and make sure you go out there and display that every weekend. And we did it as a team. All right, so I want to fast forward just a little bit now. So tell me, like, how did all this stuff, your mom, your dad, your family, the work ethic, everything about it, not only prepare you for, your career in the NFL, all those things, but also, for you being a father and a dad now and everything that goes along with that? You know what, man? Honestly, folks ask me all the time, who was your idol? Who you looked up to? And, they think every football player has another football player that just said, I wanted to be him. We do have guys that we probably, sit there and it's like, man, he's amazing. Yeah. It was Jerry Rice for everybody who wanted to play receiver. He was a guy that I watched a lot too. But I knew instantly that I didn't have a Jerry Rice body. Right. So I got to find somebody that's short, that's doing this thing. And tell you the truth, I watched a lot of guys from Andre Rison, you name it. All the guys that had my structure, I watched them and I became fans. But to be honest with you, my idols was my parents. Yeah. My idols, what instilled in me was from my parents. Growing up in Miami, I had a close family. I consider it close, both sides, my dad's side and my mom's side. My mom's side, I got to know them real well because my early childhood years, I spent more time with them. Right. We was in one big old house. Right. Everybody, it was 15 or more people in that house with 2 bedrooms. Yeah. Ooh. And me and my uncle, we sent texts and stuff back all the time. He's like, you remember it was cold? And Miami don't get cold, but 60 is colder. Yeah. He said, remember we didn't have no heater and remember when we used to be sleeping on lawn chairs? And I'm like, oh, you just don't know. Like, I remember those days. Right. But besides all that, when we got a chance to move to Carroll City, which we thought it was better because it was like middle class, but we living in a house now. Me and my brothers have our own room, but it's still the hood. Right. It's still corrupt. It's gang. Now I'm living in a gang-infested area, and I'm thinking I'm doing better. But when I look at the structure that I have in my household, it was no question that I wasn't going to be able to make it as something. Yeah. I'm looking at these folks get up every morning and bust their behind. Right. Make sure that we got everything lined up. Make sure my brothers
and me have food on the table, making sure that it's no bills that's, past due or late. And I know we don't have it.
Yeah.
I know we don't have it because the simple fact that me asking for certain things, my mama say, baby, I don't got it.
Right.
I ain't got the money for that.
Right.
But guess what? I didn't have no needs because I had everything else.
Sure.
So my wants probably, we didn't have the money for it.
Right.
But my needs, it was always taken care of. So I sat back and I was a smart kid. I consider myself being smart because I've always been a good observer to this day.
Yeah.
That's one of my traits. If you ask me what I put as my, best, whatever you want to say, attribute of anything, I'm an observer. Right. I can watch something and then I can go out there and either be that or find a way to involve myself. And
gotcha. I think a lot of great athletes have that attribute.
So I watched that with my parents.
Yeah.
And I said, man, you know what? I understood what was going on, and they making sure that we don't have no questions about how we're being raised.
Right.
And so it basically was a fuel to my fire to make me want to go out there and grind and go after my dreams, go after my goals, because I felt like in the long run, this will help me, but it won't only help me, it will help them as well.
Yeah. I mean, so how special was that? Now you get in the NFL and you're going to playoff games and Pro Bowls. I mean, mom and dad, here's your kids here while you're still playing. That's got to be, those were special moments for me as a young kid because I got to grow up with my dad. Like when he retired, I was 13 years old. So I really got to see it, and enjoy it. Like, what were those moments and memories like with you just knowing, hey, mom and dad, family's in the stands, kids, wife, all of them are there.
So it's crazy. I put blinders on. I'm one of those guys that I'm like the horse that's riding. That you go to any parade and those police officers have the horse, put those blinders on because they don't want their horse to go off track.
Right.
They don't want the horse to see nothing that's going on outside. That was me in my playing years. Everything was speeding. But I remember the purpose and why I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
I remember the dreams.
Right.
I remember the goal that I set. I remember being that kid that said, at the end of the day, regardless of what people told me, this is what I want.
Right.
To have it, to be doing it. I was living the best days of my life. And to this day, football has still been the best days of my life because I'm still a part of it.
Yep.
But I never once realized until late, I'm telling you the truth, it was later in my career when I just sat back one day and I just said, man, I reflected like, what are my parents feeling right now?
Yeah, right.
What are they thinking about what I'm doing? Not only just me, my younger brother Sonora's man.
Right, sure.
He had a Super Bowl. And I'm like, what? How they feel? And I swear to you, man, now that I'm retired, I go back all the time. Now, I've been rewinding this doggone reel in my head for so long now.
Yeah.
I'm stuck right now because I'm reliving these moments. I was a guy that played the game, and I feared failure. So I never dwelled on any moment, whether it was high or low. I never dwelled on it. I knew that the lows couldn't be any lower. I knew my highs, you know what, sometimes they can't be higher. So unless you want it to be higher, you have to keep grinding that.
Yeah.
And so I feared that so much to where I always would cut it and keep it moving. That's how I did it, with a lot of stuff that I went through in life. I never reflect. And when it was time for me to reflect now, I'm living those moments now. I ask my mom and my dad times now, like, man, what was it like going to those games, seeing me and my brother, being able to be on the same field? I know my dad was relishing in it because he showed it, my dad is a correction officer. And growing up, you would tell me, that was the desired job for a guy like him. He was a hard nose.
Sure.
He was a guy that, man, you look at his structure and you be like, yeah, but my dad was he was no punk. He was a guy that's why I played the game the way I played. It's a lot of him and me. And, I guess when you're a small guy, you're always gonna be looked over. You're always gonna be picked on for something.
Right.
But you always gotta show these guys, whatever you start, I can finish.
You're a fighter.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever you start, I can finish. My dad and my mom always told me, she one of those people, she like, hey, baby, we don't start nothing, but we show them quick that we can finish it. So if you don't want us to be a part of it, make sure you involve us the right way. So I look at a lot of the stuff that transpired through my career, and I look back and say, man, you know what? One moment stands out the most. It was senior day in college. And the reason why this stands out the most is because I had built up a portfolio of my career at that moment to say, Tanny, you can take this into the NFL.
Yeah.
You walked on to this team, but you're going to go out of here a first rounder. That was my last game at the Orange Bowl.
Right.
And I remember them walking me out, and I got emotional. And I didn't want to see them. I didn't want them to see me cry.
Yeah,
I didn't want them crying because I tell myself.
I know that's a tough moment. I had that too.
No crying in football. That's how I believe that to this day. And I said, Mom and Dad, thank y'all.
Right.
And I went out there and put on a show.
Yeah.
I lit up the field on Orange Bowl. The last game I ever played in Orange Bowl, I scored 3 touchdowns. It was a performance second to none that I ever done as a University of Miami Hurricane. But it was for them. It was my tribute to them for this moment.
Now, your kids, just like real quick, because this is the last one and I got to let you go.
Okay.
Like, how would they playing sports? What are they doing? They got your drive. They like that. I mean, it's not always.
You will want it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. You will want them to have the same drive.
Yeah.
My oldest son is in college now,
Right.
Santana Jr. Never really was crazy about football.
Right.
Played baseball from 5 to 12, and then he just cut it one day and said, I want to play football.
Yeah.
Started at 14, and he had a great, high school career.
Right.
He played in, at Stonebridge out there in Northern Virginia. Had a great senior year, junior and senior year. But it wasn't his thing.
Yeah.
So now he's just in school studying. He don't want to play football.
Yeah,
That's okay.
that's fine.
I don't push that on him.
I get you.
My daughter Sanaya, she's in volleyball at Sunset High down in Miami.
Right.
She's an athlete.
Yeah.
I told her from day one, she had the things that I have in me. I saw it in her. She's a girl, and I'm like, Sanaya, you might be the most athletic child I have.
Right.
So I'm intrigued to see where she's going to take volleyball. She can run. She can do a lot of stuff. She was good in dance, good in gymnastics, all that stuff. My youngest son, Savion, is 10.
Right.
And my daughter, Sienna, she's 10. Sienna is into gymnastics and stuff like that. Savion is the football player.
Yeah.
Out the womb, he wanted to play football.
Gotcha.
He reminds me of me, just how he wants the game. The only thing I'm trying to put in him is like, look, your dad football was everything. So I slept it, I ate it, and then I watched it every day. I'm trying to put that in him. And my youngest girl, Sage, she's the firecracker in the house right now. She's 3 years old.
Yes.
But she keeps things going on right now.
So why all S's? That's what I want to know right now.
It's just me, man.
Yeah,
it just
I figured.
Fit. One of the things I look at right now.
Santana Moss has a great ring.
Yeah. And I wanted my kids to carry that S.
Yeah.
I wanted them to carry my initials.
Yeah.
STM.
Yeah.
So all of them has STM.
I got you.
So mine's Santana Terrell Moss, and all my kids have STM.
You the man.
I appreciate it.
You're the man. I mean, good family man, worked hard, earned it the right way.
Yeah.
That's why we got you a part of Campbell's Chunky Chats. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Santana Moss, the legend, truly.
Appreciate
when
it,
I was in high school, watching you and making my college decision, man, that U team and just everything about you especially, I always really admired it.
Yeah.
And even when I got in the NFL and had to play you, and you're pain in the butt Redskins a few times, we lost to you in the damn playoff game. I was always scared to death of you because I just knew you were not afraid to make a big play in a big moment.
No doubt.
And you the man. Appreciate you coming out, man.
Kind words.
You the man.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.